Welcome back, everybody. We have a special announcement from the Associated Press naming President-elect Joe Biden as the official winner of the presidential election. So on this episode, we're going to get into the current lawsuits from Donald Trump. We're also going to talk about the future of stimulus and the future of lockdowns. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Edward Bilder, and thank you guys so much for joining me on your official stimulus update for all those gig workers out there, sole proprietors, 1099s, small business owners, self-employed individuals, gig workers like Uber, Lyft drivers. This is your stimulus update. Let's get into those details. Okay, everybody, I am sure you're already aware that Joe Biden has been declared from the Associated Press as the official winner of the election. So, there's a lot of talk still happening as to all of this emotion that's tied up. You have 50% of Americans out there who wanted Donald Trump to win again. You have 50% of Americans out there who wanted Joe Biden to win. And there's all of the lawsuits that are happening, and people are questioning, well, did Joe Biden officially win? Does Donald Trump still have a chance? Let's talk about those lawsuits here real quick. Let's get into some details on that. So right now there are a few lawsuits that President Trump kicked out. Pennsylvania, Texas, Georgia, and Michigan, of course, all of which have been pretty much dismissed or have been provided a ruling that satisfied the official lawsuit. Let me get into that a little bit further, right? Pennsylvania was one of the biggest swing states out there. So everybody's kind of questioning Pennsylvania was going to be the next decider of the president. And so there was a lawsuit that Republican observers weren't allowed to get close enough within the 6 feet rule, and that Democrats observers were getting much closer during the whole vote count. And so, the official ruling from the court systems came back that they're going to allow both of them to be within the same distance, and it pretty much wiped out that whole lawsuit that Donald Trump was pushing. Right, he was basically declaring that we were having fraudulent votes because the Republicans were not able to get close enough to observe the votes. Let's shift over to Texas here for a moment. In Texas, there was a drive-through poll that Donald Trump was going after a lawsuit in the state of Texas to have all those votes thrown out, saying that they were breaking a federal law. That has also been dismissed. Late ballots to be segregated, that lawsuit's being dismissed. In Michigan, a lawsuit was lost. And of course, there was the lawsuit that was lost in Georgia. However, we will say that in Georgia, they are going to go through a recount of all the votes. Now, in the past, okay, we're seeing that Joe Biden, with all of the mail-in ballots, has won by substantial numbers, by the tens of thousands, okay? What Donald Trump is saying is that these were either late or they could be fraudulent, people voting twice, people using false names to vote. And these are some serious claims, right? So now when we're talking in terms of how they would determine, of the tens of thousands of votes, how they would determine if there was any activity of any fraudulent activity, they would just pull random sample, right? And when you have a population so large like that, tens and tens of thousands, pulling random samples, you could pull a few hundred random samples, and it would satisfy, if you verified and validated that the vote was official, it would wipe that lawsuit clean. It basically would say that the lawsuit would be dismissed. Let's just keep the peace. Let's all understand that we're all Americans together, and we're all in this together. I mean, we're all in the same situation. We're being affected by this outside source, this virus. Something that we truly didn't anticipate or expect. Of all of your emotions and all your feelings out there, that we could just put all this aside, put all this election stuff aside, and really get back to focusing on what's important, what matters, and that's our economy, our homeless, people losing their homes through either foreclosures or evictions, right? We have a lot of things happening. We have tons and tons of unemployed individuals out there, people that are having a hard time feeding their children right now. So let's get into some focused information. Let's start to talk about what our future looks like in terms of stimulus. All right, let's talk about the current proposals on lockdown, because Tom Friedman right now could be proposed as one of the next cabinet members. And Tom Freeman is talking a lot about this Ireland's version of the lockdown system. All right. So it is highly likely that if we see a future lockdown, it's going to follow this Irish model. And it's fairly similar. Okay. It's fairly similar to the previous lockdown. You would see essential workers being pushed to the high priority where everything else is pretty much going to shut down. Visiting friends, family, it's going to be shut down, and there'll be limitations on gatherings and groups. So that'll also be reduced and practically to a minimum to practically nothing. All right. So it's imperative that we follow the cabinet appointments to really get a good idea of where we see this future of lockdown actually heading towards. Right. Now there is no current plan for stimulus. All right. So that's a little bit scary, because if we are talking about lockdowns, these lockdowns could start as early as December, as early as November. Depending on how the next few days go with the overall election. But we could be seeing us entering into lockdown sooner than we think. Now, state and local will have a much sooner approach to the lockdowns, like New Jersey and New York, and even Pennsylvania right now, by counties or by statewide mandates. So we could be seeing this on our horizon rather quickly. Now, Nancy Pelosi is announcing, okay, that she wants to revert back to her $3.4 trillion HEROES Act. Doesn't want to be in the $2.4 trillion range any longer. Now, a couple things could happen. You could have all blue Senate, so you'd have an all blue Senate, all blue House, and you'd have obviously the president all blue. And this could be plausible. It could happen. Now, Joe Biden himself, he's already announcing that he's talking to health officials and determining, a plan of action ahead of his official position into office in January, so that he's ready out of the gate with a stimulus plan and a plan for combating the virus. So, a lot of things in our future. Now, tech companies are, if we want to follow the market just for a moment, tech companies are jumping in the market with Biden coming into office and President Trump leaving, because a lot of the trade wars with China, tech-related trade wars with China, were focused around Donald Trump having all these tariffs, etc. Right? So it seems like tech is on its way up. Now, we also need to keep big focus on Mitch McConnell over the next few weeks, because he would like to see a stimulus deal executed before January 1st. Now, right here on this channel, I announced that there's roughly between 700 and 850 billion. It's a tough number to come upon, because we're adding it up from all of the news reports that we're seeing, is left over from the CARES Act money. Now, it's important to understand this, because this is money that's already been spent. All right, it's already been allocated to something, and Mitch McConnell is aware of this, so he wants to grab it and allocate it to something that could be used right away. What is that right away? That could be unemployment, that could be PPP, that could be some IDLES, that could be small business funding. And Mitch McConnell wants to do this very quickly. He wants this done before January 1st. So, we could be seeing huge things on the horizon. Now, with Nancy Pelosi's $3.4 trillion bill coming back into play and Joe Biden coming into office, that $600 boost in unemployment, that also may come back. And of course, naturally, your stimulus checks will come back. So it's gonna be quite interesting. Now, remember, Mark Meadows is out and Steve Mnuchin is out. So all of that negotiation is going to start all over again. And if we follow COVID progression, they'll be forced to provide some kind of bipartisan stimulus package. Congress, will be forced to do it. Look, there is no doubt that there are very insane fiscal cliffs in our future here, in our near future. And if we don't have a plan set aside for stimulus, this could turn ugly really quickly for many Americans that are still unemployed and facing the loss of their homes. So I just want to talk through some of the fiscal cliffs that are currently on the horizon, and one of which is the municipal credit facilities. Now, what that means is it's like a credit line from the federal government, from the Federal Reserve, that basically prevents a municipality from going bankrupt. So they extend a line of credit out there that the municipalities can pick up to keep their municipality running. We also have the Main Street Lending Program, which is nearing a close. These loans are finding to be very difficult to qualify for, requiring a lot of information that wouldn't necessarily be applicable to a small business owner. And so since they are so difficult to qualify for, right now lenders are really only giving them to big businesses that are demonstrating increases in their revenue, which is pretty nuts when you really think about it. It was a program designed to help during a pandemic disaster. And, it's really demonstrating how broken the system is that they're only offering loans right now to people that are showing increased revenue. It doesn't make any sense, right? So unemployment is coming up on an expiration. This is December 31st. And we're not even talking about the boost, right? That $600 boost that we once had, that already expired. The 300 plus 400, the 300 plus 100, totaling it to 400 of LWA, that's expiring, right? There's no funds left, and those are going to expire here very soon in December. Student loan deferment is also ending December 31st. And eviction protections are ending December 31st. So, there are billions and billions of dollars out there within state and local government that if they don't use it, they're going to lose it. It'll have to get sent back. Crazy amounts of money that, the people don't even realize are available. In El Paso, there are support right now for evictions that they'll pay your rent or they'll pay your mortgage. Tons of money. So I urge you all to look into your municipalities, look into your local government, start locally, check in the states, and see what type of funds could be available to you that you don't even know about. I urge you all to do that. So we need to pay attention to, in order to understand the direction of stimulus and the direction of lockdowns, we really need to pay attention to the new election of cabinet members, the new appointment of cabinet members. It's going to tell us a lot of information, how the whole stock market moves, and about COVID progression, and it'll provide a lot of information to whether or not we're going to receive this next bipartisan stimulus package. Now, keep in mind, Mark Meadows, he will be exiting. Steve Mnuchin, he will also be exiting. So, with the new appointed cabinet members, there's going to be all new negotiations that we have to go through. So we really need to pay close attention, and we also have to see what's about to happen in the Senate. Are they going to shift to an all blue? Are they going to stay 50-50? What's really going to happen? Because a lot of these things are going to determine what's next. And finally, your update on the virus. That exponential growth is still trending in the positive direction. 132,797 new cases as of yesterday, with 1,223 new deaths. So, I kind of announced on this channel about 3 weeks ago that we'll be seeing exponential growth over the next few weeks, spiking up to as high as 150,000. And that trend is following what I've been suggesting. Now, I might even be seeing it going higher, maybe until 175,000 by the time Thanksgiving comes around. So it will be quite interesting to see what this future presidency will have, what this new term will have, and if they'll have a plan immediately before January, something prepared that when Congress returns this Monday, the Senate is returning this Monday, that they have a plan ready to go to discuss stimulus, because it is very clear that the virus is climbing. There's a lot of discussions about lockdowns, and there is no discussion about stimulus right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's up. All right, guys, I appreciate all you guys watching and joining us today. It is November the 7th. That has been your stimulus update. If you guys like the way I presented this to you, remember to like, subscribe, and share this with all your friends. And don't forget about my giveaway. I announced it on many of my videos that I have a $100 giveaway that when I reach my next 1,000 subscribers, I'll be picking one lucky comment from down below. So you have to drop a comment in. I'm going to grab a comment, and I'm going to pick a random winner to win $100. And I'll send it right over to you any way you want. Venmo, PayPal, whatever it is. So I hope you guys are the next winner. I appreciate you all, and thank you, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye for now.